Hey guys, Dantics here. So I recently showcased the perfect ship design, but it has a problem. You need to be a significant level to be able to afford and even unlock a lot of parts. Some have requirements for piloting and starship design, some have level requirements and require a bit of cash. So to solve that, I've created the perfect no requirement ship. It can be built and upgraded using your first ship as a base. It uses nothing but the parts available to you without any skills and is extremely cheap to build. You can get away with building it for under 50k. Best of all, it has the maximum mobility and speed, making it the best dogfighter available. You'll be able to boost out of missile lock and even get away when your shields are down, making enemies completely lose you until your shields regenerate. It has low mass, decent crew size, all the workbenches, lots of room for customization without all the unsightly ladders. In fact, it has no ladders at all, making it have a very clean interior. This is also without neglecting the exterior. Normally Class A ships get to the maximum mass amount before performance goes down very easily, but as you can see, we're at exactly one mass away from that problem. A bonus is it lets you enter from the front, almost like it rolls out the red carpet for you. To make the design even more insane, it has most of the vulnerable components hidden away in the center of the ship. It has powerful weapons that rip through any target, almost maximum jump range, which you can get to 30 with no effort as you upgrade. You can then upgrade the cargo size without impacting your speed and maneuverability. Yes, you won't be as tanky as my previous design, but if you like actual space combat and not just flying into the middle of battle and letting your turrets rip through things, or if you like disabling and boarding ships to sell the ships or rob the people inside blind, this is the starship for you. Best of all, it's Class A, so as you gain skills and cash, you can replace and upgrade everything to make it even more potent. This ship will grow with you, and if you already have the levels and skills, you can maximize it into a beast off the bat, which I'll show you how to do. If you can't find a particular part, check out my part guide video below. All you need to do is pause as I build so you can build along with me. But before we start building, let's take a quick tour. So let's start the tour where we always do, in the cockpit. Now this cockpit doesn't have any requirements, it's quite cheap, and it actually looks like your crew are working within it because they're at stations or they're looking at monitors instead of just chilling on a seat next to you. So it does have a lot of crew stations. All your constellation members will be able to chill out in here if needed, but you do have two empty habs on each side. You can put whatever habs you want in this particular design, but I've left them empty so you can customize them to your heart's content. And I've put all of the workbenches in one area to make it nice and easy. And Barrett just chilling up here on okay, all right, whatever, buddy. I mean, there's a perfectly good bed there. There's some shit, okay? Yeah, so this is the crew. He's thrown me completely. So this is the crew area. They can have their shower here. They can go to the toilet here. You can customize however you see fit. You could put all your weapons here or whatever you want to do. The best thing about this design is there's no stairs going up and down. And if you want to exit the ship, you just come here. If you want to get docked into another ship or a space station, it's right here. Very easy. And you'll see as well, when you exit the ship, there's nothing in your way. You can come straight out and go immediately into Rev 8 or your moon jumper or whatever you have, if you have something else modded there. And it's like, all it needs is a red carpet just going down here to get in, because you feel like you're kind of protected as you're going into it. So that's the ship. Now, how do we build it? Well, firstly, you want to make yourself an outpost. I recommend building a landing pad with a ship builder. It needs beryllium, adaptive frames, zero wire and iron, quite a bit, so it might take a little bit of time to be able to build one of these things, but once you do, you'll have access to almost all of the ship parts simply from this console, and you can build anything you want, really, from the what is going on over there, Andrea? You can build anything you want from this console, except a handful of parts, like the ones in the new DLC. Anchor Point has some new parts. Some of the piratey areas have pirate parts in particular that you won't have access to here. For a full list, check out my video below. Following that list, you can find all those parts if you just fly around to each region that has them if you don't have access to this console. But let's jump in and take a look at this beast. Now, you'll notice initially that we have 29 light years of a jump range. Now, That can be upgraded when you upgrade your reactor and get better parts. Right now we have a no requirement A, Class A reactor that only gives 20 power. Now we can't power absolutely everything, but as we upgrade our reactor, we will be able to. I want to also point out that the weapons we are using are these Vanguard Obliterator Auto Projectors. They are by far one of the best weapons in the game. They are only available to you after you do a few missions for the Vanguard. So do 1 or 2 missions and check back and see if you can build this. These weapons are amazing because they only take 2 power. They do a lot of damage very quickly to hull and shield. So they're really the only weapons you need, and you could put 6 of these on your ship and be completely fine. I've only put 4 of these on the ship because it's more than enough, but you could, based on how much power you have, you could put a lot of these on your ship. So once you get access to it, you should use them. Until then, you can use something else. But I just wanted to point out the fact that that's the only requirement out of everything on this ship. As you can see, there are no other requirements. Except, of course, to check out today's sponsor. What if you could play games on a portable 174-inch screen anywhere you go? In your comfy couch, laying on your bed, anywhere. You can with these Viture Beast XR glasses. It's insane. You don't need a TV or a monitor. You just plug these glasses in and they get powered from the device and you're good to go. I was lucky enough to get sent these and I've been using them for everything from script writing to playing on my Switch 2 in bed without waking up the missus, because yes, the screen can be anchored and has a crisp 120Hz refresh rate, but also the sound comes through these and is pretty damn impressive as well. It's hard to show you what I'm experiencing because you need to see it for yourself, but essentially putting these on is like looking at a massive adjustable cinema screen. It's like strapping a projector onto the back of your skull and watching the magic happen through your eyes. You can also watch supported media in full immersive 3D with the Immersive 3D app. Using the mobile dock, which doubles as a power bank, you can connect to your console like the Switch 2 and play on the go. I had to go to Singapore recently for work, and this, coupled with the ability to change the opacity of these glasses, was an absolute godsend. The Beast XR glasses are now fully available from Best Buy and Amazon in the USA, or use my code Dantics anywhere in the world for 10% off if you follow the link below. Starting with the cockpit here, we have the Viking CP100. Now this is the lowest grade or the lowest model of this particular cockpit. You can see that it goes all the way up to 220. The reason we're not going with this is because the mass is significantly higher. It goes from 4 to 12 for only 80 more cargo space. So we do not need to use this one if we want to keep the mass low, especially since it looks exactly the same inside, the only difference being the invisible 80 extra cargo space that it has. Now, if you notice that the color is different, that's because you highlight over what you want to color, press J, and you can color each individual component, or you can double click on your whole creation when you're done and do so as well. Now I've individually colored some of these things just to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but you could color it any way you see fit. So the next thing we want to grab is the Stroud Storeroom 1x1 hab. It doesn't need to be Stroud, it can be any that you choose, but I like the Stroud design. If you want to say not use a Hope Tech engineering bay that's empty, or you don't want to use on the right side of the ship the Stroud all-in-one berth, you don't need to as well. Just play around with these habs until you find something that links them all together. Now, I found that this particular layout, as you can see here, links the door from the storeroom to the all-in-one berth and a door from the storeroom to the engineering bay. That doesn't always happen, but with this layout, it does. Now, to continue the design, there are a few things. One, we have a shield generator. We pop that shield generator over here. It is the 30S Protector Shield Generator. It's a very low quality one. It only gives 420 max shield. That is more than enough for you. But if you want, once you upgrade your reactor, you can get something more delicious. Like I would recommend this one here. It gives 1600 max shield rate, even though the regen rate is much lower. However, you need Starship Design rank 4, so this is very late game. This is something you won't be able to get up front. So stick with this particular shield, and you can upgrade it to the next stage once you get piloting, once you get Starship Design. So start with this. It's very cheap. You can upgrade it later. So double click on everything, pull it away just so we've got some space. And now let's take a look at what was underneath, a little bit hidden there. It is another storeroom. So we take that storeroom and we pop it here. So now you can see it's connected in a square. Why do we need a square? Because we want to put something in the middle there. Let's take off the engines and get them ready to be placed later. Like so. Grab this dock and pop it on top. Now that means when this docks with a ship or a space station, you're going to go from here and start directly in this storeroom, able to get anywhere in the ship. We also want the ability to get into our ship from the ground. So we take a landing bay and we pop it at the bottom here. I'm using the NG6 landing bay. You'll never need to upgrade this, and you'll never need to upgrade your docker. This is the best you can get from the start. Now, we have our reactor here, and we want to pop it smoothly in the middle of our ship. This keeps the reactor safe. Nothing is going to be able to hit your reactor, because damaging your reactor screws up everything on your ship. It starts powering down everything. So that is the most important component. So we keep that well protected between the halves. Now, this reactor is a Class A reactor with only 20 power. You can substantially upgrade this as you work your way into Class C. Now, the reason I left some space here is because of the Class C requirement of being 2 stories high. So once you upgrade the Class A, you can still continue to place the Class Cs in this ship without changing the design. You can place that in because it is 2 stories high, and you simply need to remove your grav drive and put it here and move this forward. But since we don't have a Class C, let's get rid of that, and I'll show you how we build it for now. We put our grav drive, which can also be upgraded. This is only a Class A grav drive. Its jump thrust and its health are fairly low. We don't have to worry too much about that health number just now, but its thrust is fairly low because the mass is fairly low of this ship. That's enough, but as the mass increases, you might need to upgrade this. Now, we also put the Nova cowling. This is within the structural tab, and it's in most areas, but you can go to the Nova Galactic shipyard to get these parts and some of the others that you see here as well. Now, this is the basis of the ship. We've got almost everything we need. We've got our reactor, we've got our grav drive, we've got our docker, we've got our landing bay, and we've got our shield. What we need to do now is to finish off by putting our engines on, just like so. And now we have our 5 Amun 3 engines. These are Class A. Now, the thing with engines is they determine your top speed and mobility. So if I was to get, say, the Supernova engines here, which are Class C, as you can see over here, they do have a lot of engine thrust. They do have a lot of maneuvering thrust. The problem is the mass. They have a large amount of mass, and also just looking at these stats doesn't quite paint you the picture. Class A engines are what you put in a ship if you want to go fast and if you want to be very agile, your mobility. That is what you need to use. Class B is middle of the range, and Class C is much slower. If you want something that hauls a lot of weight, has a lot of storage, has a lot of turrets, has a lot of armor, then you use Class C. However, because we don't have a lot of weight, even when we upgrade fully this starship, we are still continuing to use Class A. We'll just use an upgraded Amun engine instead. We'll get the one that requires a rank 3 in Starship Design, so we can get the 7. Right now, we are only using the 3. So as we upgrade, as we get more skills, upgrading these engines will mean you can increase the mass quite substantially, because you'll have a lot more engine and maneuvering thrust to keep your mobility and top speed at their maximum. So right now, no requirement, but once you meet the requirements, upgrade those engines. You need to. Upgrading engines is fantastic. It just makes everything better. Now, we have also a missile launcher on the side here, just so it's more symmetrical. We have something sticking out here and something sticking out over here. The first thing is the weapon mount. This makes it so you can mount weapons on the side of your ships. And we have a Vanguard Tempest missile launcher. You also unlock this when you do Vanguard stuff. This is just a missile launcher just because I want missiles on my ship, but you don't need to have missiles on your ship. You can actually put more of these Obliterator auto projectors on the side here. You can put more underneath. You can put whatever weapons you want. I've just put this here as a guide. Okay, so that is your first set. Then you want to grab Nova Cowling over here, the B2LPFs, and you want to pop them just about here. And then you want to grab some more of these Nova Cowlings. I mean, a lot of ship designs use these structural parts because they just look so clean, so smooth. So as you can see, it looks like the wing is coming together. Underneath this Nova Cowling, like I mentioned, are the Vanguard Obliterator auto projectors. I've got 2 on each side, so 4 total. But like I said, you can just absolutely load this design to the brim full of weapons and you'll melt anything. I don't think there's going to be much alive that would be able to stand up to you. Now, this is purely just for the looks here. We have the belly aft, which just kind of smooths out the design from the back because we are using these Accu landers here in order to get thrust to take off. So we will pop those underneath. Like you can see, I know it's dark, a little dark, but those go right under like so. And now we just need something to fill the space between them. We don't need to because it does take up 3 mass each, but I'm using these spines here just to fill in some of the space between them. Now, all that we have left is helium-3 tanks. These ones I love, these M30 Ulysses. You can get better versions of these once you get better skills. But what they do is they provide grab jump fuel without looking like a fuel tank. You can see here a lot of the fuel tanks just look kind of unsightly. We've got actual tanks, we've got ship balls, we've got a big cargo container here. And look, the mass is absolutely huge. Whereas these ones just don't have much mass. We don't need much fuel to begin with, but we can upgrade to these ones here when we do get the rank 4 of Starship design, because they do have quite a bit more for the mass, as you can see. But next to that, we have the smaller version of the Nova Cowling, the 1LPFs, and that is just to cap off the sleekness of the design here, so it's not just an open hole. But if you're running low on your mass amount and it's gone over into the red, you don't need those. Then you can get the Stroud caps just to cap off the design. And there we have it. The only thing left to do is to assign your weapons. You also want to paint the ship. What I would recommend doing is just double clicking, pressing J, and let's just say we want this to be green. Let's do just that. So color 1 is the primary color for most of these. Color 2 is the secondary color for most of these. So I might do it black. And then color 3 is the little details. So the details you might want to have like another color even. And that would be it. And then you might be like, okay, well, I actually don't want this shield to be obvious. So you can change that to black, for example. Or you could be like, I want my engines to be a different color. So you would control click everything you want to change. And then you would manually change them like so. It's incredibly simple to upgrade components. You just press the upgrade ship button, C here, and you'll be taken to this menu. From here, you can click on individual parts like weapons, engines, and shields. It will show you the parts that you can upgrade that are similar to it, but it won't swap in parts that you need to maneuver around. So you can't go from the class A to class C reactor. The total cost to fully upgrade this ship with the best Class A stuff is 151,394 credits, though it would be significantly more if you chose to upgrade to Class C reactors. And that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. If you need any help, let me know in the comments. Until next time, ciao friends.